SGC here, and we're back for a movie review.
This is a bad idea.
Bang. Where the hell is he? Somebody set me up over here. You better pray you have nothing to do with it.
Directed by Jonas Åkerlund, a Swedish film and music video director and drummer. His previous work of last year was Lords of Chaos, a horror film that I haven't seen. I might check it out. But mostly he's done music videos or just movies of tours. Like he did Madonna's tour in 2005 and 6, and did Paul McCartney's 2012, Taylor Swift 2015. So this is also based on the comic Polar Come From the Code by Víctor Santos, and I have read it right after I finished this, so I can just talk a little bit about it. And it stars Mads Mikkelsen, Vanessa Hudgens, Katheryn Winnick, and everyone else. Check it out below. So what's this about? Well, basically, it's basically what John Wick would have been if they didn't kill his dog and his retirement plan was on something else. Ha. So basically, it's Mads Mikkelsen playing an assassin where his company has a really nice pension plan, but in reality, if you die before your retirement, all that money goes back to the company. So the bad guys are like, we need to kill him before he retires so we get the money back and we don't have to worry about things. And that's basically the entire film. So what did I think? Well, first off, I enjoyed it. I mean, this is definitely a John Wick-esque type of thing, but the comic roots are very much more evident, as in the nameplates for everyone that shows up, and just the music and everything, and just the weirdness of the assassin enforcer group people. They are kind of over the top in terms of just style and much less grounded than everybody else. Like Mads, really grounded, violence, really grounded, gore, grounded, and just Vanessa Hudgens, like, I'm super sad, grounded, but every time those bad guys shows up, it's just like, ooh, comic tropes now. And I loved it in the sense where it was just fun, and I love the whole balancing act of it being really silly and dumb, but then at the same time grounded John Wick action. I actually enjoyed how they adapted this. I read the comic right after when I finished the movie, and if you want to know, basically the first half of the movie isn't adapted from the comic. Rather, the comic starts off with something really big happening already, and then the action starts. And that's basically where the latter half of the movie is about, which is pretty nice, because there's an action sequence in the beginning, but yet they sort of like retweak it for just character sake and technical sake, so that you see it and it works, and then you see it again, will it work, who knows, that tension, you know how the plan's gonna be, and then all the technical like crazy shooting was all around, and I enjoyed it. Granted, the first hour is kind of like because it's more the silly stuff happening rather than the grounded stuff. So even when they switch between Matt Lucas's bad guy to Mads character, it just feels a little kind of jarring, but when the action happens, it's like brutal. So I really did enjoy that, and I really liked how they switched up some stuff from the comic. I mean, we have Katheryn Winnick, who plays Vivian, and she's like this established sort of character throughout. She's like there a lot and much more like mysterious and all that. Granted, this is not the Continentals. That was one of the bummers for me, where the comicness of it just felt like this can't be an organization that works because it's kind of dumb. But the action sequence, amazing stuff, and there's a lot more nudity than I thought there would be, and it's interesting how they used it, because it's just they use it as a sort of technical assassination thing, and then again, but then the nudity sort of reflects on like Matt's character, him being retired, and he has one sex scene in Russia, and he just looks at like he's just judging himself, and then again it happens, and he's just like, oh, I'm going into this, like I gotta prove myself, type of thing. So it's just like a reflection of his sexuality, basically. So that was interesting. I think the weakest part about this story is the Vanessa Hudgens character arc. They just really try to make you care. I mean, granted, they don't tell you her sob story over and over again, though they do show it to you, where she's like clearly she's experiencing PTSD, which is weird in a sense where when the twist happens, it doesn't really connect because it's happened so long ago, but yet she still feels like a character who just recently experienced it. Granted, I'm not an expert on PTSD, and maybe that thing that she went through was traumatic enough to affect her that long, but I just felt like that twist was kind of a stretch, and just her acting throughout was just lacking in general. Whereas everyone's sort of more of a character type, and it's just like they're clearly having fun. Even Mads being in his character is just like suffering and just like dark and gloom. I'm like, I get that. He can deliver on that sense, but Vanessa Hudgens, not so much. Everyone else doing their assassin routine, great stuff. And well, I guess the Russian lady was kind of weak too, but she's like not even a side character really. But anyway, I enjoyed the action. The gore is pretty up there, and it's much more ruthless than say John Wick, I would say. So yeah, it's interesting that this came out so much earlier, but at the same time close to close with what's your face? Close. But it's interesting that this comes out so much earlier than John Wick 3, but at the same time close to close with Noomi Rapace. And Noomi Rapace is advertised as a John Wick sort of bodyguard type. I'm kind of cool, but they don't deliver on that end. But then with Polar here, it is a John Wick, a little bit old man Wick type of thing, and it delivers. And I think it'll throw people off that it's such more comic-y. But granted, if you read the comics, it's really great because it's sort of reminiscent of the whole Sin City vibe with Frank Miller, so I really enjoyed that. I really got hunt down Volume 2 before. Check that out. But Volume 1 was entertaining and good action, and I think I really appreciate how they adapted it into this movie for a full-length, almost 2-hour film. And the comic is much more short and just like precise. And yeah, I think the lore itself, John Wick has an upper hand with the whole Continental and just like vote points sort of thing. But here, the organization just feels kind of weak. It just feels like more like a thuggish, like I'm, crazy with money, so I'm gonna kill all my retired assassins because I know they're not good because they're old, but they still can kick ass because, yeah, Polar. Why is it called Polar? I do wonder. But anyways, so yeah, action is great. Comic stuff, it might put people off, but just go with it. I mean, they introduce every assassin with like a nameplate, and then the music, it's like, oh yeah, Deadmau5 does the music here, so that's an interesting choice. So yeah, I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. Like, it was a fun action thing. Granted, I feel like 2 hours is probably too long. Like, the setup in the beginning could have been shortened down a lot more. But with all that said, the action delivered, and that's all I wanted. And Mads Mikkelsen was just, dark and gloomy and brooding. And his eye patch really, really delivers on the whole Snake. Like, if I seriously swear, if they made a Metal Gear Solid movie and he becomes old Snake, I'm down for that. I mean, he is already working with Kojima anyways on Death Stranding, so who knows? Anyways, we're done here. That's it for this movie review for Polar. Out.